What if your Clutterbug system is correct, but it's still not working for you? I genuinely love the Clutterbug system created by Cass. Link in the description below if you want to learn more about it. However, I've noticed that for neurodivergent brains, something happens where the system doesn't quite work for you, even if your type is correct. And today I'm going to share with you why that happens. If we haven't met yet, my name is Isabel, and on this channel we talk all about embracing your weird in order to build a better brand, business, and life. Now, disclaimer, this is not a critique on the Clutterbug system. I truly think the system is a genius way to understand how your brain prefers to organize. I think it's really smart. I really admire Cass, the creator. Again, linking her channel below. This is not a critique at all. It is just, I just want to talk about some nuances that I've noticed when applying this system in real life as a neurodivergent person. So what is the Clutterbug system? The Clutterbug system is an organization system that shows you or divides you into 4 different types of organization styles: the cricket, the ladybug, the bee, and the butterfly. And the way it does this is through 2 different preferences. One is whether you like broad categories of things, for example, office supplies, and the other is whether you like small categories of things. So instead of office supplies, it would be, scissors, pens, pencils, erasers, that kind of more detailed organization. The other thing it takes into account is how much you want to see this stuff. So whether you want it all to be visible or whether you prefer all of it to be hidden away behind closed doors or closed storage. And that gives you 4 types, right? The broad category that wants to see it, the broad category that doesn't want to see it, the detailed category ones who want to see it, and the detailed category ones who want everything hidden away. Before I keep going, I'm curious, is there an area of your house that gets cluttered the most for you? Leave it below in the comments, because I think what I'm going to say next might help you tweak some things. So I'm going to tell you about me for a second. I am a cricket. Crickets enjoy small categories and they love everything hidden away. So I am very much a detailed, tedious, tiny organizer. Like, that's my biggest preference. I am the person who has, the drawer with the dividers and has like pens and erasers and things, like everything in tiny little categories. But I also want to be able to just close that drawer and not see the thing. Most of my stuff, unless it's decorative, is hidden behind doors because I don't want to see the clutter. I want it all hidden away and I want it all organized in tiny little perfect categories that are labeled. Containers inside containers inside containers. That is who I am as a preference. So what is the issue? The issue is I don't always have the same capacity, even if I have the same preference. What does that mean? It means that I don't always have the same energy. It means that my nervous system isn't always as regulated. It means that I don't always have the same amount of time or the same amount of resources or same amount of executive function available. And that is when the cricket system starts to fail me a little bit. Because yes, I have this preference of small, tiny, neat categories hidden away, but I'm also a human whose capacity changes, and sometimes I need a different type of system. I will give you an example. I have a drawer in my bedroom that has all of my hair clips, whether that's like a claw clip or I don't know what they're called, the different types of clips and bows and hair ties. Like every hair clip, hair tie related thing is in that drawer. And that drawer has little organizers in which I have, one has hair ties and one has the little black pin clips for fancier hairdos, and the other one has, different types. Again, I don't know the names. However, when I am low energy, when I am low capacity, I open that drawer and I just push anything hair clip related into the drawer and I close the drawer. When I have more energy or more capacity, I will go into that drawer and, re-put things where they go inside the tiny dividers. This is a system that allows for multiple capacity within the same preference. My preference is for things to be hidden away, in this case inside a drawer. My preference is for things to have tiny categories. However, my capacity doesn't always allow for tiny categories and doesn't always allow for a system where, for example, I would have like a box with a lid that I would have to take down, open the lid, put the things inside, put the lid back on and put it back. So the drawer with dividers helps me in different types of capacity or different levels of capacity while still being true to my preference, which is my Clutterbug type, which in this case is a cricket. Now this happens in all of the types, right? You have your butterfly and you have your ladybug, which love having things out in the open, right? They love having everything visible. So like a butterfly is the kind of crafter who would love to have like a pegboard on the wall with all of their craft supplies like out in the open, or like open shelving in a kitchen, that kind of thing, right? But if they are a butterfly and a ladybug, but they're also neurodivergent, for example, that visual clutter can also create visual overstimulation and visual overwhelm. And so even though their preference is to have everything visible, their capacity might not make that the best option for them at any given moment. So again, what does that mean? Does that mean that they have to organize like a cricket? No. That just means they have to find a workaround to reduce, in this case, the visual clutter when they are overstimulated, when they are overwhelmed, when their capacity is different, while still staying true to their preference. So what can that look like? Let's imagine that I was a butterfly and I had a giant pegboard here with all my stuff, right? Well, maybe it's as easy as adding a curtain on top in front of it, right? When you're visually overwhelmed, when you're visually overstimulated, you can close the curtain. But when you need to see all your stuff, you just open the curtain and there it all is. And so it allows for, again, different capacity within the same preference. Now, I also see this a lot with the whole out of sight, out of mind. Bees and crickets love having things hidden. And while that's great, if you have ADHD or certain types of neurodivergence, you know that out of sight means out of mind. And so while visual clutter can be overstimulating, at the same time, seeing the thing reminds you of the thing, right? So this is something that I struggle with personally, and I had to switch, for example, to clear containers for leftovers. And I put them in like the middle shelf of my fridge because more than once I had opened my fridge, looked inside and went, oh, I don't have anything to eat. Closed the fridge and ordered food. And I had leftovers there. And it's because they were not in clear containers. And because they were not in clear containers, I didn't see them. Now, is this true to my cricket self? No, because my cricket self prefers everything hidden. And so technically I should prefer food containers that you can't see what's inside. However, my capacity varies. And the person I am, and in this case, my undiagnosed but truly possible ADHD means that I need to be able to see the thing or I forget that it's there. So clear containers are the midpoint solution because it's not super overwhelming. It's still inside the fridge, so it's still like hidden, but I can also see it and I know that it's there. One like universal thing that I've found that works for across like all four types is to contain and corral and then make it visible. So what do I mean by that? Let's say you have like a basket with all of your knitting supplies. And so you have it inside a closet. So again, not visually stimulating, but when you want to knit, you take out the full basket. And so you have all your stuff there. It's all visible, it's all there, But when you're done, you can put it back. And so it's not always there. Obviously, something like this also allows for smaller categories or bigger categories. If you are a big category person like a bee or a butterfly, you can just have all the knitting supplies in the basket and that's it. Whereas if you are a smaller detailed category, you might have containers inside the basket where you have like the knitting needles and the yarn and the things that you use for knitting. I don't know what you use for knitting, I don't knit. But like hair supplies, same thing, right? You might have a big basket of everything that you use to do your hair. And so your curling iron and your flat iron and your blow dryer and your gels and oils, and it's all in the basket. So when you're gonna do your hair, you pull it all out, everything's visible. Again, broad categories, it's all your hair supplies. Or if you're a detailed category, cricket or ladybug, you might have containers inside the basket, but it allows you to keep it visible when you need it and also put it away when you don't. So the more I thought about this, the more I realized how layered organization really is, because yes, your preference matters, or your Clutterbug type in this case, and it is so important, and I truly love the system. But what I think doesn't get talked enough about is the capacity part and the who you are part and the what works for you part. The fact that your capacity, your energy, your executive functioning, you know, if you're sick, like all of that affects how your systems work. And if your systems don't work on a bad day, then those aren't systems. They're perfectionism masking as a system. That doesn't work. That just becomes another shaming tool of like, why can't I keep up with the system? So I've decided to create a thing called adaptive organization, where I'm going to be talking more about this and creating systems that adjust for your capacity. And I'm going to be sharing more about it on this channel. So if you're interested in that, keep a lookout. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you like and subscribe. It really helps this channel grow. I make new videos like this every Friday. So until then, stay wild, stay weird, stay flexible with your capacity, and I will see you in the next one.